Hello, good day. In this video, I will answer the 4 questions about Bangladesh English. So, let's proceed. The first question: How English arrived in Bangladesh? The origin of English in the Indian subcontinent is linked to British colonial rule 1757 to 1947. The first encounters between the Indians and British date from the 1630s when English trading factories were set up in Bengal. Initially, English was a language of trade between English factors and local go-betweens, Zaman 2003, with no commercial or institutional opportunities for its learning. During the Pakistan era, 1947 to 1971, in constructing a new national language Urdu to unite linguistically, culturally, and geographically divided East and West Pakistan called for significant political investment. The question of English apparently remained in the background of this complex political process. Nevertheless, English gained a new status in the Federation of Pakistan, serving as a neutral political tool for communication between the two wings of Pakistan. The breakup of Pakistan and the emerge of Bangladesh in 1971 brought an opportunity for Bangladeshis to reflect on the language question from a nationalistic point of view. In the new nation, English became a de facto, more foreign language with a negligible role in international communication in a largely monolingual country. So, number 2 question. What is the status of English in terms of education and language policies in Bangladesh? Okay, so there is no policy articulation about English that can be applied to the whole society. Although language questions have special significance in the social, cultural, and political life of the nation, language does not seem to have received commensurate policy investment. For example, the National Education Policy, Ministry of Education 2010, includes chapters on all conceivable forms of education, including adult and non-formal education, women's education, religious and moral education, physical education, and legal education, but no chapter is dedicated to languages or language education. English has increasingly penetrated into Bangladesh under the influence of globalization, technology, and global flows of information. The lack of adequate functional proficiency in English among the general population is reported as a national concern. So, the third question is: describe the functions of English in terms of education, employment, media and entertainment, politics, ingenious creative writing, electronic communication. So, education. Education is a key domain where English has an overarching presence, both as a language for learning and as a language in which students are expected to develop functional proficiency. English is taught as a compulsory subject from grade 1 to grade 12. Employment. The domain of employment does not allow for an easy or reliable assessment of the role of English. While jobs in certain sectors may require high levels of English proficiency and other communication skills, in general, English plays a more dominant role in the private sector than in the public sector. Study of English in the RMG sector shows that the language is crucial in key areas of marketing, merchandising, and commercial operation. Media and entertainment as of 2018, there are 1,242 national and regional daily newspapers published in the country. 85 of them are in English. 70 English dailies are published from the capital city and 15 from the rest of the country. There are over 40 television channels, including the sole state-run Bangladesh Television or BTV. The rule of English in BTV is restricted to 4 daily news bulletins and several other English programs for the entire week. The private television channels have even more limited space for English in their programs. Politics. Alright. The current politics of language considers the two languages to be in zero-sum relationships. And therefore, attempts are made to ensure that the promotion of English does not undermine the dignity and official status of Bangla. However, as previously noted, there are no specific policies for English to guide politics and political discourse in the country. Non-government organizations English probably has the strongest presence in non-government organizations, since many of the NGOs have to communicate with global development partners for funding and other needs. English is a default option for international communication. So, creative writing. Although creative writing in English in the region dates back to the early 90th is 19th century. Bangladesh Writing English or BWE has yet to receive notable recognition. Electronic communication. Email communication in Bangladesh is characterized by the use of English. However, in the public sector, email is not the official form of communication, even though it probably constitutes the dominant form of communication in the private sector. Mobile phone-based short message services or SMS constitutes another area of significant English used in Bangladesh as elsewhere in South Asia. While emails are written mainly in English, SMS mixes Bangla and English and is often written in the Romanized script. So the fourth question is, what is code mixing, code switching, and technology-mediated innovations in Bangladesh? As of the following SMS text illustrate, established businesses in Bangladesh blend English and Bangla to varying degrees to inform existing customers about products and services. Okay, so communication technology also facilitates linguistic innovation other than linguistic transition. For example, FNF or family and friend is a familiar word in the mobile phone culture in Bangladesh. It refers to groups of people among whom the telephone companies offer cheaper call rates. A more popular innovation in this regard is FlexiLoad, which stands for flexible loading of credit to prepaid mobile phones, right? Coding mixing and linguistic transgressions are also found in the urban linguistic landscape, particularly in signs and billboards. As previously indicated, many of these grammatical features can be found in Indian English, probably attesting to the epicenter status of Indian English in the region. So, although examples of the localization of English are not infrequent they may be restricted to written communication. So the last question, number 4, is what is code mixing, code switching, and technology mediated innovations in Bangladesh? So, as the following SMS text illustrate, established businesses in Bangladesh blend English and Bangla to varying degrees to inform existing customers about products and services. Communication technology also facilitates linguistic innovation other than linguistic transgression. For example, FNF, or family and friend, is a familiar word in the mobile phone culture in Bangladesh. It refers to groups of people among whom the telephone companies offer cheaper call rates. A more popular innovation in this regard is FlexiLoad, which stands for flexible loading of credit to prepaid mobile phones. Code mixing and linguistic transgressions are also found in the urban linguistic landscape, particularly in signs and billboards. As previously indicated, many of these grammatical features can be found in Indian English. Okay, Indian English probably attesting to the epicenter status of Indian English in the region. So, although examples of the localization of English are not infrequent, they may be restricted to written communication. So I hope you learned something.